the boat on the Sea of Galilee, and Jesus, because it's a it's a stormy weather, and they all get scared. They try calling help from Jesus, and then Jesus walks on water. He comes to them, and Peter doubts that it's Jesus. He thinks it's a ghost, and he asks God to prove that he is God. Let Peter walk on water. So God asks him to walk on water and lets him walk on water, but Peter's faith dwindles and Peter begins to sink. And then God saves him, they come back onto the boat, and then they reach wherever they were supposed to go. So this was one of the sessions that was taken today, and it was titled God Strengthens Me. But for God to strengthen you, you need to have faith, full faith in God. Then only He can help you. So the scene starts from the desert before this lake of Sea of Galilee travel happens. Before that, there's a place where Jesus wanted to go and pray, but then the crowds hear that He's there and they come and listen to Him. They get the deceased, the sick people to Him so that He can heal them. So that's where it starts. But it starts with the travel first. So, pardon, this is a low budget skit, so please pardon the makeup, pardon the prosthetics. You might find it funny, but that's all we got. So, it was a calm sunny day, and Jesus and His disciples were traveling on a boat to a village. As the journey was long, Jesus suggests to make a stop in between to rest.
We should stop and take a rest for the long journey ahead.
They dock the boat on the shore, and all the disciples and Jesus get down from the boat. Now the news of Jesus arriving at the village spread like wildfire. And very soon, a large crowd starts to gather. And they all sit down and listen to Jesus. Jesus spoke to the crowd, He prayed amongst them, and He also healed the sick. There was a blind woman who, with the help of her family, came to Jesus in hope of a miracle. Jesus puts His hands on the lady's head, looks up to heaven, and closes His eyes in prayer. He then lifts His hands away, and the lady looks at Him.
I can see! I can see! I can see! Thank you, Lord, for Thou hast healed me!
Thy faith has healed you.
Jesus kept meeting the crowd and speaking to them until evening. Then one of the disciples, Simon, comes and speaks to Jesus.
This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so that they can go to their villages and buy themselves food.
They do not need to go away. You bring them something to eat.
Simon looks for some food with the villagers and finds a lunch basket.
But here only we have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish.
Bring them here to me.
Simon gives the basket to Jesus, who takes it, looks up to heaven, and prays. He then breaks the bread and hands it over to the disciples to be handed over to the crowd. and the crowd then begins to eat. Now the crowd was of at least 5,000 men, besides women and children, and they all ate to their heart's content. And yet, at the end of it, there were 12 basketfuls of leftover bread and fish. Now Jesus decides to continue with the journey and asks the disciples to get onto the boat and meet him at the other side of the sea, as he wanted some alone time to pray. So he ventured into the mountainside.
Get onto the boat and meet me at the other side.
The disciples start their journey, but en route they encounter a stormy sea. The boat starts swaying back and forth in the stormy weather, and the disciples get frantic and start screaming,
Lord, save us! Lord, save us! Save us!
There's a ghost! There's a ghost!
It is I. Take courage. Do not be afraid.
If it's you, tell me to come into the water.
Come.
Peter gets off the boat and walks towards Jesus. He immediately becomes afraid and begins to sink.
Lord, save me!
Jesus reaches out to Peter and saves him.
Do not be afraid. Why did you doubt?
Jesus takes Peter back onto the boat, and suddenly the sea turns calm.
You truly are.
Son of God. You truly are the Son of God.
Now Peter sank because he did have complete faith in the Lord. For whosoever fully trusts in God, God will strengthen them. As it's mentioned in Psalm chapter 28, verse 7. The Lord is my strength and my shield. As my heart trusts in him, he helps me. Thank you.